Hello and welcome to GBN America. I'm Nana Akua. Photogate, I like to call this. The poor Princess of Wales, poor Catherine. In attempting to practice her amateur photoshopping skills, she has caused uproar. An uproar that is enough to put anyone off photography for good. Poor woman. On Mother's Day, the Princess of Wales and her family issued a photograph of them all together. Now, it was taken by William and was meant to signify a happy Mother's Day to one and all, designed to quell the rumours. After all, we haven't seen Kate properly for a while since her surgery, and this was meant to show that the Queen in waiting was A-OK. But sadly, it turned out to have the very opposite effect, as Catherine, who is an amateur photographer, embarked on an exercise in photoshopping, which was so badly done that expert photographers around the world scrutinised the picture and pointed out a host of inconsistencies. It was that bad that 6 global picture agencies sensationally pulled the image from their wires and libraries, thinking that it was a fake or that it had been cruelly manipulated. Princess Charlotte's wrist didn't match her sleeve and her hair ended abruptly. Louis's jumper didn't line up and his right hand was blurred. Catherine had a wonky zip, an out-of-focus hand and 3 airbrushed individual hairs, and her wedding ring was missing. Even the background was dodgy. The only person to escape Catherine's enthusiasm was Prince George. Bless her heart, poor Catherine. Why would she ever want to try again? This would put any aspiring student off photography for life. The press went to town on her. They were obsessed. It was absurd. In a rare personal message on Twitter, our future Queen said that she occasionally experimented as an amateur photographer, and she apologised for any confusion the photograph caused. She then made an unexpected public appearance in the face of all the rhetoric and speculation. People are saying her PR should have warned her, but they perhaps didn't have the heart. After all, she's just practising something she loves. I say, leave her alone. Frankly, I couldn't work out what all the fuss was about. In the meantime, the Prince of Wales joined Queen Camilla and other members of the royal family at a Commonwealth Day service in Westminster Abbey. You've got to hand it to the royal family. They sure know how to make headlines. Well, in this case, an admitted edited photo has resulted in even more conspiracy theories to run amok. When the royals have asked for privacy on multiple occasions, seems like the more they try, the harder it is to keep that narrative positive. So joining me now is author and columnist Lizzie Cundy. Lizzie Cundy.
Hi, Nana. Hello.
Nice to see you. That
nice
poor woman, that photograph. What are your thoughts?
Well, I wish you'd got me to do the photoshopping. That's my first thought. I mean, I would have done a much better job. Look, let's be honest, Nana. There's a huge percentage of us that do like a little Photoshop, me included. I mean, practically everyone on Instagram does it. It's not just the Kim Kardashians, you know, it's even royals. And it really is, I think, a storm in a media teacup, shall we say. You know, poor Kate, she's under pressure to put a picture out on Mother's Day. She wanted to wish everyone well and say Happy Mother's Day herself with a lovely picture. And look what's happened. But really, they should have checked the picture or sent it for me to do. I couldn't quite believe how many mistakes were in it. I think there's more than 16, Nana.
Oh, poor woman, though. She was just trying. I think this is going to put Kate off amateur photography for life. I mean, you just wouldn't do it again, would you?
No, of course, you wouldn't do it again. But don't forget, look, I mean, she's under huge pressure. We haven't really seen her properly since December, since, you know, she's had that abdominal operation, and everyone is really worried about her. So she knows everyone is wanting this picture, and she's under huge pressure. And you know what it's like when you've got 3 children all having to smile and laugh at the same time. We know Louis is a bit of a rascal. So I think she just thought, oh, I'll go for the easy option, but look what's happened.
I know. Well, poor Kate. Look, Catherine, we wish you all the best. I'm sorry about that photo.
We
Perhaps,
do.
maybe back off Photoshop.
Yeah, maybe forget the photoshopping. Listen, she needs to send it to me for next time, for sure.
That's it.
But I think we've got to give her a bit of slack. She's trying to wish everyone well. The sentiment was good. I think we've got to get off her back, and we all wish her well and to get better very, very soon.
Exactly. Now, what about, because we had International Women's Day to the tail end of last week, and Meghan Markle did a little bit of a speech type thing around a load of other women, and she couldn't, she was talking about social media and how awful it had been to her, especially when she was pregnant, when literally the only time that she's really been famous, she has been pregnant. The only time we've really known her has been when she married Harry, and in most of that time she's been pregnant, really, to be fair to her. So what was your thought on that, though? Because she complained about the bullying, but then again it was a case of poor me.
Well, it's always me with Meghan Markle. I'm afraid she always plays the victim, Nana, doesn't she? And, you know, if she doesn't like the comments, don't read them. Look, I get plenty of them. You know, I just don't go scrolling, reading everyone and taking it to heart. And, you know, Meghan really needs to take a leaf out of her own book. She's talking about humanity and being kind. Well, she's not actually shown much kindness to our Kate, who's going through it, really not well at the minute, had that huge operation. She's not shown it to her own family. She's not shown it to her father, who's had a stroke and had a heart attack. She's not even been to see him. He's not even seen the grandchildren. So where's the kindness there, Meghan? That's what I want to ask.
It is interesting that she should talk about kindness and bullying, and then on the other breath she hasn't gone to see her own father, and you know, some of the rhetoric that's come from their camp with regard towards the royal family, in particular that ghastly Oprah interview where they put it out there that perhaps somebody in the royal family was racist, and then only 2 years later called it unconscious bias, and said, and Harry himself went, nobody in the royal family racist, not the people I know. It just seems absurd that she seems to be unable to absorb the reality of her own behaviour and their behaviour.
Yeah, and the thing is, Nana, it's so hypocritical, and I think people are sick to the back teeth of it. She's trying to make a comeback. I tell you what, she's desperately in America trying to be friends with Taylor Swift. She's trying to get in with a new set of people, and it's just not happening. It really isn't. And she's trying to make a comeback here in the UK. But I'm afraid if she's going to go down this same route of feeling sorry for herself, whinging and moaning about everyone, we've just had enough of it, Nana. We're not interested.
But she's looking for another PR company, which seems a bit... You're looking for another PR company again, but this time one in the UK to build her image, though I feel that there is a sense that she was looking to come here. Do you think that the British public will have any of it?
I don't think they will, Nana. I think they're very upset with Meghan, the way she has treated not just her own family, but the royal family, how she's just talked about them on every interview possible. You know, as you said, saying there was a alleged racist in this family, and didn't put it right. The poor Queen died thinking that there possibly was one. It was cruel, actually, and I think people have really had enough of her, and I don't think anything she does, any PR company in the whole world, no matter how good, can help this woman. I really don't. And she's doing the same old tricks, you know, the whinging and moaning. And I think people are getting sick of the sound of her voice. I certainly am. My eyes go like the snake in Jungle Book. I sort of switch off. And I think we've really had enough, Nana. I think she's got to reinvent herself, do the charity, do some good stuff that people are going to really think, wow, thank you, Meghan. This is really valuable stuff you're doing. Not talking about herself, not playing the victim, and not saying poor me.
And of course, nobody likes abusive behaviour on social media, and I'm with her there. But if that's, you know, within a few moments of that meeting with all those women, that it didn't take her long to start playing the victim, which is what we all get a bit sick of. And as ever with social media, like you said, you can just switch it off. Now, finally, I want to ask, she's probably, I reckon Harry and Meghan, if they saw what was happening to Kate, they might laugh at that picture, the fact that the press behaved in such an absurd manner. In your view, do you think the press went way over the top on Catherine in that picture?
Oh, without a doubt. They really have gone over the board about this. I mean, to be honest, as I said, there's so many of us that do photoshopping, but Kate is under huge stress at the minute. We all know she's had this surgery. Why can't we leave her alone? I really think this is a big storm in a teacup, and literally there are so many more important issues we could be talking about, you know, and the royal family, please, every move they make is scrutinised, and Kate is trying to give the message of Happy Mother's Day. The sentiment was there, the good wishes were there. Please, I think the media need to get off her back with this one.
Yeah, it's a bit ridiculous. I thought it was absurd. I couldn't quite work out what the issue was with it. She's just done a bit of photoshopping that hasn't worked out that well, that's all. Lizzie Cundy. Lizzie Cundy,
No, it's
thank
been
you so much.
disastrous. Okay. Mwah.
Thank you so much. That is the fabulous Lizzie Cundy. Those are her thoughts. So with all the chaos of photos being edited, conspiracies swirling around, and what's going on with Kate and the health crisis of the working royals, there's been recognition for those who have stepped up. Prince Edward's big birthday gift from Charles. He's been awarded Scotland's top honour, the Order of the Thistle, on the occasion of his 60th birthday. So Lee Cohen joins us now. Lee, talk to us about this massive honour and what it means for Edward.
Well, Nana, the Duke has over decades proved his value to the monarchy and by extension to his country. He has a lot of his father's charm and dedication at this most needed time when health challenges around the king and the Princess of Wales are swirling. The Duke and his wife, his sister, Princess Anne, and of course Queen Camilla are proving their value every day. So the Duke really is rising to the occasion when he is most needed.
Yeah, well, that's good because, as you said, a lot of them, there's been a lot of health stuff and a lot of questions. And then poor Catherine with that image that she photoshopped. Poor woman. Did you see all the press?
Well, how could one avoid it? Please, Nana, can we not return to the days of never complain, never explain? I mean, the world wants a royal family that soars above the chatter, that sits above politics and gossip, and not feeds them. And I'm not blaming the Princess of Wales here. The Princess of Wales is a model of dignity and discretion. She needs to be left in peace. But I really believe that the royal family have a model, the greatest model and example in the late Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh as to how to handle public situations. And I think they would all be best served by simply taking the high and the dignified road that Queen Elizabeth showed the way.
Well, if Catherine hadn't explained that photograph, God knows where we would have got to. They were just all sorts of ridiculous theories. It's enough to put anyone off photography for life. She's not going to want to do any more, is she?
No, indeed. But here's what I don't understand, Nana, and I'd love your thoughts on this. They already came out with the statement that the princess had her surgery. She was recovering and in recuperation, and that she would be out of public service until after Easter. That means roughly an April timeframe. Yeah. Well, we're not there yet. So everything seems to be, progressing. I don't believe we need to feed this chatter anymore because they said it, and let's just let her recover in peace.
Yeah, I wish they would. I don't think it doesn't really cover the press in good light when they behave in that manner. But I guess, we love Princess Catherine. We want to hear everything, literally everything. But then there's a couple who we're sick and tired of hearing from, Harry and Meghan. And although a lot of people did sort of trash their documentary, or I call it a mockumentary series that they did with Netflix, it doesn't look like the Netflix train is slowing anytime soon.
Let me have a quick look. I'm going to give you the line now.
Well, between you and me, and I presume you're referring to the remarks of the chief executive of Netflix this week. But clearly, Netflix don't want to admit that they picked talentless grifters in Harry and Meghan. In the end, all they care about is the Sussexes' ability to attract viewers. And unfortunately, as you know, they are able to attract attention. They are like a car crash, painful to watch, but you can't turn away.
Yeah, I mean, it does look like that's where we're heading with these two. There'll be definitely more work on the cards, in my view, with Netflix and everything else like that. They also went to visit the daughter, the mother of someone who was killed. Am I right, in the shooting?
Yes. And, once again, trying to sort of project their image into serious things. But in defiance of what Hollywood executives, comics, cartoons, and the public think, their new branding efforts to paint themselves as serious, respected public figures it's risible, because it's risible, Nana, to think that anyone would actually be looking to this pair, who are nothing but social media influencers, for wisdom in any serious arena.
Well, and to be fair, if the cameras weren't rolling, I doubt that they would be there. Lee Cohen, thank you very much. It's such a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Nana.
So 3 years have gone by in the blink of an eye, it seems. But that's how long it's been since the interview. Yes, Harry and Meghan, that awful one on Oprah. But the question on my mind is, where has Oprah been since that viral interview with Meghan and Harry? Seemed like they were all best friends. However, there's been a couple of things that have come up to make people question that statement. Asia Grace, a features reporter and the host of the New York Post's Post Popping with Asia Grace YouTube channel, joins me now to talk about the US opinion on that interview. Asia, now do you think that Oprah has lost her credibility after that awful Harry and Meghan interview? Oh, should we do it again? We couldn't hear her. All right, I'll do it again. Asia Grace, oh, you're not ready now. Are you ready now? Asia Grace, a features reporter and the host of the New York Post's Post Popping with Asia Grace YouTube channel, joins me now to talk about the US opinion on that interview. Asia, do you think that Oprah has lost her credibility after that interview?
That's okay. Yes, I can hear you.
Well, anything Oprah does, I am obsessed and invested. I mean, she really is that girl to me and a number of journalists. I don't think that interview necessarily marred her. I do know that a lot of what the couple said has been put under fire, and there's been a lot of scrutiny about whether they were speaking the full truth or not. But I don't know that she's specifically distancing herself from the couple. I do believe that she's a consummate interviewer, and if and when the time comes to get them back on the couch, I'm willing to bet that she's going to do that. And whether that means that she's, spilling more tea, holding them accountable, whatever the case might be, I think that any perceived distance between Oprah and the couple will no longer be in existence, because, we are still talking about that interview 3 years later. So it definitely did big numbers and had a really big impact.
Here we go.
Well, listen, I'm like you, Asia. I absolutely used to love Oprah. I loved her, and I thought she was amazing. She's been one of the biggest inspirations to me in my life. And it's when I saw her that I thought, I want my own show with my name on it, and I got it. I'm happy. She was my inspiration. But that interview, you talked about holding people to account. She did not do that. And I feel that they have embarrassed her and used her platform to embellish something that they have later confessed was simply about unconscious bias and that nobody in the family was racist, which, and that is from Harry's mouth himself. Surely Oprah needs to bring them back and ask them those questions, the questions that she should have asked then.
I think at the time we were in a very sensitive state of being in this country. The tensions were high, and I think that a lot of the times we really want to believe what we're hearing. And I think that Oprah did a good job in asking the questions. Could she have dug deeper, and will she dig deeper in the future? We hope to see that. We want to see more, because that interview had such an impact, and it left such a mark on the world. There's been so much discussion. I even spoke with Piers Morgan earlier in the year about it. He did not mince words. So it's clear that, there's more to be said here, and I'm looking forward to more from both of them, both parties.
I'm actually even surprised that Oprah allowed it to go on, knowing the state of Prince Philip's health at the time as well. That's one of the things that, in my view, I think, as a journalist, if that were me and I was doing it, yes, I may want that interview, but I would probably be best advised to postpone. And to me, that seemed a little bit heartless from all of them, actually.
and bashing fossil
fuels. Well, it was a difficult time, unfortunately. He was his health was in decline, and I think that with all things considered, what Prince Harry and Meghan were saying at the time, I don't want to say took precedence overrode what the Prince Philip was going through, but I think that because they were such shocking claims, it was kind of hard to ignore. It was kind of hard to not at least ask the questions and give them the space to make the claims that they were at the time leveling. So, of course, everything hindsight 2020, we could have done things differently and better. And again, thankfully, Oprah's still here and Prince Harry and Meghan are still here. So if there does need to be another conversation, I think that the world will be more than happy to pull up a chair, pop some popcorn, and see what happens next.
I think she gave them enough rope dang themselves, actually. So in that respect, I'm kind of glad she did, because I don't think Meghan would have spoken to anybody. So at least at least we got words out of their mouths about their thoughts. And how are the couple being perceived now in the States?
White privilege.
A lot of attention right now is on the princess. There's on Kate Middleton. I mean, so much is going on with her and what's going on in the household. Right now, Meghan and Harry, they recently did some, sightseeing and some kind of person-to-person moments with the people of Uvalde, Texas. As you all may know, we had a school shooting there several years ago, and it's left a massive impact. So, I mean, right now they're doing what, you expect kind of upper-level celebrities to do, is to, be at the right places, shaking the right hands. Right now, they're not ruffling any feathers, so it's all to come. We'll all see what happens.
Well, of course, the other big story is the presidential elections it's going to be a rematch. Trump and, of course, that man who can't remember anything. I can't remember his name. And Joe Biden. So what are celebrities saying about this? Because you often get loads of celebrities jumping on a bandwagon on the back of one of these candidates. For example, Robert De Niro. What has he said?
Once again, there's not many people who are asking for this.
It's historically
saying that
a tradition for celebrities to really level their opinions, whether that's something to do with the presidential election or whether it's international issues. This is nothing new. It is very surprising though to see what kind of celebrity support both candidates in this election are getting. I mean, we see that in favor of Trump, we've seen the likes of Kim Kardashian's wild baby daddy, Kanye West giving him support, rich baby daddy rapper Sexy Red giving him support, and the daddy of all dog fathers, Snoop Dogg, giving support. And then Biden, he does have friends in highfalutin places, and he has chumminess with Lady Gaga, with Tom Hanks, with Barack Obama. So it really isn't shocking whenever celebrity does come out and side with one party or the other. What we really want to see though is the it girl of all it girls to really level her influence, and that is the Taylor Swift. Okay, when the Swifties speak, when she speaks, the Swifties sit up. So I think that is the celebrity voice that will be all kind of waiting with bated breath to hear as we get closer to election day.
I thought you were going to say Beyonce. She's the it girl, not Taylor Swift.
I mean, Beyonce is my it girl, but Taylor Swift in America, that is who everyone has their eyes turned on. They want to know what Tay-Tay has to say. And I think that, of course, are going to move as soon as Beyonce says move. She is the queen bee. However, so many people are just kind of looking to Swift, especially since she backed Biden so heavily in the 2020 election. We kind of want to see if she's going to do that again or if she's going to stay quiet. She definitely has been telling people to get out there and vote as necessary. So, it'll be interesing to see. This will be a fun one to watch as we get closer and closer to November.
I think it will be. And very briefly, there's something that keeps cropping up on my timeline. It's Beyonce, and there apparently is some Blue Ivy, apparently. What's been going on with Beyonce, Blue Ivy, Jay-Z? Is everything okay with them all, or are the press just making stuff up?
Let's talk about the
It seems like Beyonce is just busy making more and more money. I mean, not only is she now moving into the country sphere of music, but she also has her hair care line that people seem to be really buzzy about. Blue Ivy is obviously coming into her own. As we saw, she did her thing during the Renaissance tour. I was there in person and saw Miss Thing doing her moves, which is crazy because we remember her. I remember her when she was in the belly. So to see her now being like this shining star on her own, and Jay-Z having his moment at the Grammys this year, it seems as though the family is doing well, and that money is continuing to just ship into them hand over fist. So I mean, I'm team the Carters. Shout out to them.
Oh yeah, big shout out to them. They've done they're amazing. I think seeing Beyonce and her family and what she's done for the music industry and women in general as well, in particular, it's absolutely astonishing and astounding and brilliant. Asia Grace, really good to talk to you. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, the public don't want it, do they? Now, comedian and talk show host
that was
Jimmy
Asia
Kimmel
Grace. For the latest from GBN America, just go to gbnews.com/America. I'm Nana Akua.
The Oscars now an impossible job, especially if you're trying to